My minute summary on my philosophy about nutrition. So mindful nutrition is a state of mind. It's the act of being more aware, more conscious when it comes to our relationship with food. You know, knowing that how we feel, how we perform, how we function is directly related to the foods that we choose. And so I say choose here because we have the choice every time we eat, prepare food, go to get food, of what we choose to actually eat. You know, so we need to make this paradigm shift of looking at foods as what it has to offer us. You know, we're still looking to enjoy it, as food does contribute to, you know, our experiences with taste and delight and nourishment. It goes further than that. You know, that food has always a positive effect and a negative effect. Now, that positive effect can be great. It can help nourish our body, create this positive momentum cycle, help with sustained motivation and energy, whereas the negative effect on foods when we eat foods that are void of any sort of nutrients still cause a lot of stress and energy to break down, and they're leaving us with nothing, in some cases causing things like inflammation and more acidity in our body. And so we know that foods are helping us and working against us. Food is a fuel. Now we have to look at the quantity and the quality of the food that we eat too. You know, so you look at eating based on your demand. You can't go to lunch and eat the exact same person somebody else does just because they say it's good for them. You need to take a moment to think about what activities you're doing, if that makes sense for you to eat a big meal or a smaller meal, or what types of foods. You know, because it's not necessarily the animal products and all these meats that are causing diseases. You know, the quality and source is key. It's one of the things. But typically the people that eat more of these animal types of foods and all these meat foods tend to eat a lot less of these nutrient-dense foods that have all the minerals and the nutrients that our body needs, our immune system needs to function properly. And, you know, so I'm talking about, you know, all kinds of plant-based types of foods, you know, not the foods that are made or manufactured in a plant. You know, we got carrots and broccoli and cauliflower, cucumbers, celery, all these different things. You know, so how do you make this experience more enjoyable? You need to focus on this positive effect of adding things in. You know, so we're looking to crowd out the foods that are not helping us that much. So with each meal, if we focus on getting a food in, we're being mindful and aware of the foods that are going to help our, help us out. We're going to have less room for these negative foods. You know, so getting your greens in are going to help fill you up. You know, using spinach instead of rice, or using all these different veggies instead of, you know, a bread or a wrap or something that's void in any sort of nutrients. So when making the right food choices, we become more aware. It creates a positive momentum factor. We start to feel good, our energy is good, we're making good choices. It's not usually tied with that feeling of regret as if we were to go through the drive-thru and get a burger and some fries, or a quick meal like that. That's usually always tied with this feeling of regret, this negative feeling, which affects stress and hormones. It can affect cortisol. And so these different types of food choices that we're making, you know, are also, as they're helping our body and our immune system, are affecting, you know, the way of what our body does with body fat. You know, it's telling our body to store fat or burn body fat. You know, eating proper foods that your body needs based on your demand. We're talking, you know, vegetable-based meals. That's what your meal should be based around. And then if you need all the proteins, add that from where you need that in your demand. Those foods or different sugars or processed foods at the wrong timing trigger a signal, increase your insulin, and tell your body to hold on to the fat, and that takes your body from this fat burning mode, or normally where your metabolism is going, is it turns it into this fat storing mode. And so this causes stress, hormone issues, and all kinds of things right here. You know, so some easy steps that you can do just to become more mindful, or maybe try doing a food journal for a day or two. Become conscious of the foods that you're eating. Look at each meal as an opportunity to improve your body, and take a look at, you know, the demand of the foods that you're eating. If you don't plan on being really energetic later in the day and the evening, you don't need a ton of food to be able to fuel you. You know, food is fuel. Choose the proper fuels and your body will thrive. You'll feel a lot better. And the side effects are all good ones. We're talking better, improved skin, improved sleep, stress, cognitive function. This whole idea of just walking around more awake. You know, we talk about, there's a lot of people just walking around, not necessarily sleepwalking, but they're not fully alert and awake. When your body is getting all the mineral balance that it needs, that sustained energy, everything we do is going to be at a more optimal level. You know, from productivity to discipline to our willpower. This is all related to the type of fuel that we put in our body. So be open-minded, educate yourself, and be mindful.